Hey, what's up, guys? So we finally got Doctor Strange 2, and I gotta say, it really wasn't worth the wait. And with the apparent heavy reshots, you can definitely tell Disney had their hands all over this, and probably the reason why this story and the bullshit reasons why this movie even exists at all. But before I get into it, if you could like, comment, sub, that would be awesome. Would love to hear what you thought of this film. And oh, there will be spoilers. So before I get into the bad, because there was a lot of it, I do want to point out something good. It's still a visually impressive looking movie. It has all the Marvel flair that you would expect to see here, with the added twist of a Sam Raimi style. And this will definitely set it out from the other Marvel movies. And like the parts where they were like flung through a bunch of the universes was really cool to see. To see what the cool movie we could have had. Some of the stuff they do in here, like having Strange control a zombie version of himself and giving the hero speech with like the decaying corpse and the stylized shots Sam Raimi's known for. And my personal favorite was the dead spirit demon cape thing. That looked really cool. I wish we saw more of that. The cape thing was only in there for like a minute. It definitely could have been a cool thing that would have equalized him against Wanda, because they did have a little fight at the end, but it really wasn't that long. And the cape would have been a great equalizer, because for the whole movie he's getting like destroyed. So every time she showed up, like he for some reason he just couldn't do anything against her. So having this cape thing that kind of absorbed her power whenever she did something would have been pretty cool to see. But we're in phase 4 and we can't have a man defeat a woman. But visually it's up to par with most of what Marvel can do. There are some CGI parts that were done really bad. The one that really stands out was the third eye when he uses the Necronomicon. I don't know why they made it look so bad. Like, you think they could have done it because it's like an easy thing to do. I don't know, it just seems kind of lazy, and like when you just like, if you see it, it just looks so bad. It looks like there's just this Microsoft Paint just just over his forehead. It looks so dumb. Oh man, it's just kind of lazy when they do stuff like that. Like an easy fix, and not like, why do you make it look so cheap? Okay, so this is definitely go down as one of the worst Marvel stories that we've seen in a long time. Most of the choices the characters make are stupid, and the reasons they give are even stupider. From one to think all women are just magic, so they just think their kids into existence. Her being able to destroy another world's Avengers that had penises without breaking a sweat. Powers are kept in the dark so they can do whatever the plot needs it to at any time, and we can't say anything about it. Stuff like that make the disbelief go off the charts and really just derails the storylines that have been set up and anything that will be set up. And for a Doctor Strange movie, there really wasn't a whole lot of Strange in it, or it felt like there was just as much Wanda as Strange. Maybe that's what they wanted all along, but they knew they wouldn't be able to. It would be an easier sell if they could call it Strange rather than Wanda and the Multiverse of Madness. Makes sense why we see Wanda. It makes sense why they want, like, seeing WandaVision's kind of prerequisite for this. I'm pretty sure that's what they wanted to call it, because Strange wasn't really allowed to do much in his own film. He was just kind of shuffling America around, because he can't be better than the actual leads in his film. Marvel's been doing this more and more, putting some big name that everyone recognizes from phase 3 and giving us the okie doke and switching it all around to push these new diverse characters that have the unexplained powers. They can do whatever the plot needs it to, and just be basically single-handedly better than all the characters we've seen previously. And speaking of, she's probably like the worst character in the whole movie. The whole time she can't do anything until Strange does the hero speech and just basically tells her, you can control it now. And she's like, oh, okay. And now she has full control of her undefined powers, which are punching really hard and whatever they'll need down the line. I'm surprised America Chavez never got her own movie like every other Marvel character they've introduced, because when they drop someone new in it and she's a key player and you sacrifice a lot of character building, making us give a fuck about her. Even like Captain Marvel got her own. Could have had her like going through the multiverse, learning and trying to understand how to control her own powers, and giving us more backstory other than a quick trip to some memory store, and all we know about her is a bee scared her once and she has 2 moms, which can be conveniently edited out. If you only seen her in this movie, you don't know much about her at all. Most of the movies she's running away or getting captured, and she'll be thrown in the mix to give out some jokes for toddlers. The humor has gotten so bad. I can remember at least the old Marvel's movies, I'd chuckle at least, but this is just sad. They can't even write new ones. That they just kind of regurgitate old jokes from previous Marvels, like the female Captain America just using that "I could do it all" joke, and then she gets destroyed immediately, like right after. Like that doesn't make sense. Like that, why would you put that joke in and then they get destroyed immediately? Like when Captain America said it, they were fighting for a while. You can't just copy old jokes and then they get wrecked. But yeah, it would have been made more sense if they gave America Chavez her own film first before this. Like I was saying earlier, she could be going through the multiverses and trying to learn and understand her power and not having full control over it yet. And then meeting Strange in the last one that kind of pushed her to like understanding it more, but she still doesn't have full control over it. And then dropping us in the new one. It could have had like Wanda sending the monsters at her, and us having no idea like what's happening. There's just monsters chasing her. Would have been a nice point to this movie. It would have made a lot more sense, and it just would have been flowed a lot better. Now, my biggest issue in this movie is Wanda. A movie is only as good as the antagonist, and this one is shit. From her godlike powers, backward reasons why she's doing what she's doing, and the self-sacrifice she did at the end, I'm sure she'll be back because she literally took out the Avengers, and I'm sure a building collapsing on her is nothing. So I don't know why it was made out to be a big thing. They gave her god powers essentially. So when you have her getting hit by magic cannons, being able to take out whole armies and the Avengers squad with ease, what's the point anymore? Like it's like those Superman fights in the DC movies, two slabs of steel essentially hitting each other. When they have that kind of fighting, it's not interesting. At least when they were fighting Thanos, they were like damaging him, and it kind of made it look like there was a chance. But this is nothing compared to her retarded reason for doing what she's doing, because she's doing it for her non-existent kids, which in her mind women can just make up them with magic like all mothers, which is dumb to hear someone say that out loud. I don't know how someone writes this and thinks, oh yeah, this is good, and it just keeps going with this retardation. Strange even points it out in the movie. Why do you even need to do this? Why do you have to steal her powers? Why not just ask her to move you to another universe? And she's like, well, what if they get sick? Or holy fuck, how is this a reason? So we have these indestructible characters with flimsy reasons why they're doing these things, and they turn basically psycho into like a psycho murderer, vaporizing everyone even close to her, even if they aren't a threat anymore. She was supposed to be like a good guy, or like kind of. I don't know why they have to do such a U-turn on her, and if they bring her back, I'm sure they'll do, they're like, well, it was okay, you had the big sads. Just like at the beginning when Strange basically said that it was okay what she did in the town. Her doing the self-sacrifice at the end, I'm sure it'll be like a crutch to justify what she did in this whole movie. So overall, this is kind of the shit you could expect from these Phase 4 movies. The downfall of Marvel just keeps getting deeper and deeper. We got diverse characters with barely any backstory, characters with undefined power so they can just do whatever the plot needs it to. The main characters being a passenger in their own film. The antagonists having level 5 downs, cringe jokes, and if it's not that, it's reused ones that really shouldn't be in there because they don't make sense for what they're doing in the movie. They're just there to member berries, I guess. Like, oh, I remember when Captain America did that. Or they just want to replace all these characters that have been built up over the years and just phase them out and just replace them with all these new characters that are just meeting check marks and diversities. It's really dumb. And when you don't take the time and build up these characters for these new generations, it was 10 years of building up characters, and when you're just trying to shoehorn these characters into movies with the other characters when the movie's supposed to be about them, it doesn't add anything. You can't just shoehorn these new characters that no one knows out of, because now that we've gone through all the big characters that kind of really built up Marvel, and then again we have to move on now to the smaller characters, because we can't just have actors replaying the same characters over and over again, and we want to see new stuff. And this is a really good chance for Marvel to bring in old characters that were kind of sort of popular in the comics, and give them their own podium to stand on, because I'm sure most of the time they were hidden behind stories of the same old Iron Man, Wolverine, whoever else, the big names. So it gives a chance for these characters to shine. But when you just have them in the background and they can just easily outshine the main characters, I don't know, it seems disingenuous. Anyways, thanks for listening.